Products on the system broadly fall into two categories, either a standard product or a stock lot based product. The choice is yours as to which type of product you run with. A standard product are items that you do not need to keep track of batch or serial numbering of those items that are coming and going through your business. A stock lot based product on our system is one which every incoming shipment into you is stamped with a record of its stock lot. And then when you're selling products, you're actually taking them out of designated stock lots. So you have a traceability aspect to it. If we go and set up a purchase of a stock lotted product, I can show you on the system how it appears, and then we could do a transaction against it. So we go to commercial at the top of the screen, purchase contracts, new contract down the left-hand side. I'm going to choose one of the companies on here that I know can supply a certain product for me. Contracts today, we'll have it now until the end of the month. It's going to go into there, and then we'll go and create this. And the product is this demo one that I put on the system, Ricata SL1, which is a stock-based product. It was configured for this trading partner to be defaulting at £300 per unit, which in this instance is a ton, so it's £300 a ton. And how many tons do we want? We'll go for 290 tons. So at this stage, we've got a unit price of 300 and a quantity of 290. If we decided that actually this unit price of this transaction was actually going to be 301, we can simply edit screen and oversave it, and that'll update the unit price for this transaction. So we've got an £87,290 contract on here. Let's validate that. And then it'll give us a purchase contract number, purchase contract 20 on the system. Now we're ready to actually create a fixing, so that's a drawing down on this. So assuming that the information's gone over to ADM, we can actually say, yep, we're going to get this in stock. So at this stage, it's still going into the same location, and we're actually going to be getting, say, 29 tons of it. It's going to be a partial delivery to us. It's going to generate its own stock lot number over here. So we have got there, hovering over here, you can see that stock lot number 1 has been generated. So the stock of the product called Ricata SL1 has come into us off of this contract. And because it's a standalone transaction into us, we've generated this stock number. If we go into the product itself, over to the stock tab, clear those, we can see that we have an open fixing on here at the moment because it's on its way to us. It's off this purchase contract. If we go and actually, when the weighbridge ticket came in, we had 28.9 tons. So we'll update that, and then we'll move it actually into stock to say, yes, we have had that. So it's generated a movement number over here. And if we go back to this screen, we can then see physical stock. So at this one location, the lot serial number of stock lot 1 has been generated, £301, we've got 28.9 tons. If we then go to, we can see a latest movement, so we can see everything that's happened to this product. It's coming from this fixing, which if we drill into that fixing, we can go back to the purchase contract that is originated from. It's showing that it's approved, that there's work in progress on it. And if we go to fixings, we can create another fixing here. And it's showing the balance that's actually due to come in, which we can either accept or change. So if we take another 29 tons, and then say that all came in, that's going to move. And again, go into the product and the stock. And now we can see we've actually got 2 stock lots below being generated because they came in at different times. They were with the same price, and the available stock and physical stock figures are there to show us what is available. So overall, we've got 57.9 tons of this product at this location, but it was split up on 2 incoming transactions. Then the important bit on that is when we go and do a sale of this product, we're going to choose which of these stock lots or both of them we're actually going to draw down on to allow for traceability. So if we go and do a quick sales contract, we can see how that looks. We go to our products and we will find that. There we go. So that product is showing that this Riccata SL1, and now we've got 57.9 tons in stock, and we're going to take 29 tons of it. Okay, and we can go and settle a price against that. We can see that the price that it came in was the £300, and that we're going to sell that at sort of £305. So we can see here the margin and the profitability on it. We'll approve that to say, and then we will go and create a fixing. So this is drawing down on this sales contract to actually ship some of it now back out. So when we go to create the fixing, you're then presented with a list of the stock lots that are applicable, to enable you to choose which one you want to take. So if we take, for instance, we're going to have 5 out of that one, and we're going to do 3 out of that one just for this example. So we're taking 8 tons in total, and it's split across these different stock lots. If when you get details back from Weybridge, you can go and amend them as necessary. One that'll do on here, and then we move it on the system. And then, as usual, we can go and create the invoice off the back of that. The unit price is there for the sales invoice at 305 that we were charging the customer, and then we actually shipped them 29 tons. So their invoice is for the £8,845. But at the bottom of the screen, we can see that they have fixing linked to it to show exactly what product they actually had and the stock lots those came from. If we go back into the product, we can see on the stock screen how things have changed. So here, under these 2 stock lots, the available stock on one of them is right down at 0.9 tons and the other one's at 28 tons. So those will always update based on the transactions going through the system. And here is showing that physically we have the 28.9 tons of stock available. And when all of the transactions go through, we'll actually have 261, because this is something that's based on the big purchase contract. So the 290 tons, we've moved 57.9, and we've still got 232.1 to come in on that purchase contract. So when those are pushed through the calculation, we'll be left with 261 tons, looking like we've got enough stock available. So that covers how a stock lotted product would operate on the system. As I said, the other type is a standard product, which doesn't break them up into stock lotted transactions. The stock comes in and increases the stock figures on the system, and when you sell it, the stock figure goes back down again. So if we go and find a product on the system to rate, let me just go and find out who can sell that. Let's add ADM as being able to supply it to us, and we will have that as 290. So they're showing us we have a supplier of ADM that can supply this product, and we know that at the moment they're £290 per ton. So if I go into ADM as a supplier, and then I can compare it to contract, it'll pre-fill in the fact that ADM was selected because it knows who they are. We'll then go and get a contract, and that'll be fine. We'll put that into there, and then create draft. And the product shows here, the demo one that we've got, £290 per unit. You can, if this was a long list, these ones are grayed out because this supplier doesn't supply those products. I've only set up the 2 that you see at the top of the screen. If you did have more in it, you could just type in any words that would narrow it down to enable you to find what you're after. We're going to have some 58 tons coming in of that product. So we've got the tonnage and the unit price here, and then we validate and approve it. And then similarly to the sales, the stock lotted view, we can go to fixings and create fixing. And the system will then ask how much do you want to come in. If we say we're going to get 29 tons in on this time, and then we move it, the product screen itself will show here stock's just gone into that existing pile that we already had available. So the 471 tons now includes the 29 that we've just done. What we can do is go and see the transactions on here. So there's 29 tons. There's no details about a stock lot because it was all just dumped into the one area of the system. And if we're going to sell the 315 R0315 product, we can go to commercial, new sales contract, pick who's going to buy it. And obviously anybody can buy any product. It's only that the sales are restricted to who you can, the purchases as to who you can actually purchase them from. We'll go into that and create draft. And then at the bottom, we will go 315 to retail. And they're going to have, we'll approve that onto the system. So the draft's moved up to ordered status, and that's ready to go now. If we then went and had a look, so this is number sales contract 89. If we go to the stock screen, we can see here that we've got an open sales contract that we've just loaded, and it's going for 10 tons. And so overall, we've got 97 tons that we need to supply, of which 10 tons is this contract that we're looking at. If we go into this contract, we can then go to fixings because we've now had a situation where we can ship it. So we're going to go and create the fixing, and how much of it we're going to ship. We'll ship the whole 10 tons as we've got it available. The 29 tons here showing that at this location, we've got 29 tons. So we were able to ship the 10 tons. We'll create it, and then we will move it. And you'll notice that we didn't have to select which of the stock lots this would come out for because this is a non-stock lotted product. But the overall workflow that you see remains consistent on it. And once that's been moved, we can then create an invoice. And that's based on the tonnage that was moved and at the price, which in this instance was free. So you can then go and invoice onto the system.